Item number 3 is a 2019 striping and marking project award. Mr. Ben Moody, welcome, sir.
All right, good evening, Mayor, members of the council. And so the item before you is in regards to our annual maintenance and striping project. So annually, through our CIP account, we program approximately $125,000 to do striping and marking maintenance. So as we've discussed before, our transportation workshop, we have about 230 miles of roadway. And with this 125,000, we go through annually and review streets that really need, that are high traffic areas, that's worn out, try to update the striping. And then also with this one, we're putting schools on a 5-year rotation. So we're doing 3 schools, 3 city facilities where we're going to freshen up the parking striping at San Branham, Blackburn Tally, and the wastewater treatment facility. And also with this, in the past, we brought it for you where we're going to add that crosswalk and ADA ramp at Morton. So kind of all over town, as you can see, and it's really based on YC 311, city review, and then also on the school and facility update list. And so with that, we put this project out to bid. We received 3 bids, the low being $186,000 approximately from Crisp Company, which is out of Woodland. And with the other 2 bidders somewhat close, but we're glad to see the price in the 185 with it being a little higher than our engineer's estimate. The estimate, when we looked at the numbers, the unit price for the striping was pretty much right on, but where we got caught off guard was the removal costs, and the traffic control was higher than we anticipated. So with that, we don't think we're going to get a better bid by waiting or putting it out, and so we'd like to proceed forward with that, with the award to the lowest responsive bidder, being Chris Company. So with that, we dug into the contingency a little bit to find out what the ask would be, kind of looking at that a little bit more with past history. We looked at past projects for striping. We were all over the place from 0% to 8%. And so based on this project size, we'd like to go with an average of, which was about 4.7. So we'd like to just round it and go with a 5% contingency amount. And that, where that comes in really is the contingency, we pay the contract based on the actual lineal footage that goes down. And so if there's some inaccuracies from us taking measurements, plus we want to do an extra stop bar here or there to clean up the intersection so it looks good, that's where that comes in if we need to use it at all. So with that, our recommendation is to adopt a resolution adopting a CEQA Class 1 categorical exemption, awarding a construction contract to Chris Company, and authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement for the 2019 striping and marking project. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Through the mayor. Ben, thanks for the explanation on the contingencies. I was just wondering, it sounded like you did not expect that those contingency costs would come into play. Is that correct?
No, I expect that we'll use some of it. I mean, honestly, it's been from 0% on some small jobs where when we look at past striping jobs where we just go out and do one intersection, to a larger amount where we had as high. We went back 10 years and we had as high as 7.8%. So on a job this size and across town, we're not going to get the exact footage right. So when we measure at the end of the day, when they actually spray it, we're going to pay based on that actual lineal footage that they put down. So we'll be below the 5%, and hopefully we keep it to 0%, but I want a little bit of money in there so we have that flexibility. If we got to, if we bid it at 100 feet, and in reality it turns out to be 102, I want to be able to tell them they need to go to the end of the block.
That would be good.
Yes, exactly.
Also, help me understand a little bit about the $18,548 and change for the road rehab.
Okay, so with this project, it's interesting. I used 2 accounts to pay for it. So last year we did not put out a project. So in 17-18 we put $100,000 into the CIP. We did not do a project. We had some miscellaneous striping where we used approximately $40,000. That together, so with the carryover in last year's 18-19 allocation, we have approximately $185 in that striping and markings account, which brings us right to the bid amount, where we could reduce scope, but really the money is the same money. It's streets and roads money. We have it divvied into two accounts, into a road rehab account. And so in order to move forward with this project and allow for the contingency and not to have to pull items back and rebid it, we want to use both accounts. And it's reasonable because it's streets and roads money. It's for streets and roads work, and the work includes, portions for that ADA ramp and different stuff.
Thank you for the explanation.
Through the mayor.
Yes.
Can you remind me on the school sites where you're gonna, some of the crosswalks or any of that work?
I'm going to have to.
There's a map.
Ben,
My
we got-
staff helped me. I know Terrabuena was on the list, and I'd have to come back to you
Yeah,
on which.
Morton Street at Western was one, sir. You had.
I think actually it's in addition to the Morton and Western, and so we have Terrabuena on there. And Grace, I'd be happy to follow up with an email
Yeah, that would
on
be
those
great. I
locations.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
Sir.
Through the mayor. Ben, thank you so much for paying close attention to the contingency. I know that I was the stickler of that, and I like knowing that we're more prepared, and the 4.7 to 5 is good. The only question I have is, I know that these are all out of the area companies. Do we not have a local company that bid for this project in order to try to keep it local, or did they, and they were just way out of range as far as cost?
This is as local as we get for striping contractors. The only local contractor that I'm aware that does some striping activities is Big S, out of who's a part of Hilburst that's out
Right.
locally, but they really specialize in parking lots and not the equipment for the large scale with the trucks driving down the center lines of the road.
Okay.
And so I believe the center line and Central are both out of the Sacramento Elk Grove area. Once in a while we'll see Sierra from Redding, but those are typically the standards we'll see.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Through the mayor.
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion for the 2019 Striping and Marking Project Award, recommended by recommendations of A and B.
And Mr. Mayor, before there's a second, was this open to public comment?
Oh, sorry.
It was not, and forgive me for missing that on the agenda. Would any member of the public care to comment on the striping project? You sure? All right. So, yes, sir, it has been. Thank you. All right. We have a motion and a
I'll
second to
second.
approve. We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very well. Thank you very much.